So thank you. I thought the video was way too inspiring. I still can feel my goosebumps. I read a quote somewhere, I don't remember it, but the quote says, when a woman rises for herself, when a strong woman rises for herself, she doesn't just rise for herself, but the woman overall, many other in the society. So that's the power that each one of us have in terms of how we lead and how we inspire other women. So ladies and gentlemen, few gentlemen, but ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to be here on this forum. It's an amazing forum where all of us can interact and learn, and I'm really proud to be presenting in this arena. Before I start, so let me a small correction, and I'll come to that. I've always been very passionate about numbers. Numbers, I thought, hide and reveal a lot of stories. And using technology, using AI to unravel those stories is always so inspiring, always so enriching. And the power that you can use those insights to change customer experiences or change lives of colleagues is amazing. So I started my career, not 2 decades, maybe 2.5 decades back. I know I'm divulging my age, but I was fortunate to get into data analytics space quite early on in my career. Though at that time, we didn't have these nice words of AI, data analytics, data science. Nonetheless, it was an exciting space as it is right now. And fast forward 4.5 years back, I joined this amazing bank, Commonwealth Bank of Australia, what we also fondly call as Combank, CBA, to set up the team in India. And I can see a lot of my members here. I can vouch this is one of the best data analytics team you can find anywhere. No offense, but that's the fact. So that's the journey we have had. And one thing which I'm really proud of being part of this bank is the way we take data, or the way the bank has a focus on data, analytics, AI, technology, to use this and be in the forefront of these new technologies to really drive a change for our colleagues, drive a change for our customers. And that, my friends, is Reimagine banking. So today I'm going to talk about Reimagine banking. I know there would be colleagues here who would not be part of banking, but I hope and I believe you'll have some quite a strong takeaways in terms of the learnings we have had in our journey of using AI. So before we start, a quick, what does banking mean to us? No-brainer question, we all are banking customers. I won't spend a lot of time on this one, but I did introspect, what does banking mean to me? Some very, very important financial reasons for banking, right? Safe place to store money, absolutely non-negotiable. Not just store money, but grow our money. The bank needs to take care of how they are able to grow. Good interest rate, good financial products, absolutely essential. Convenience, we all know it. We all need the convenience of using our money, be it on a market or on online. We just value that convenience. Access to credit. Throughout our life, we need those extra funding, absolutely important. Cash management for businesses, corporate banking, and so much more. So there's enough and more reasons for the banks to exist and for all of us to have really high value derived from that. So coming back to CBA. So CBA, which is a bank based in Australia, obviously provides all of these spectrum of services. But the best thing is, while we are a 100-plus-year-old bank in Australia, we have been #1 in the region since many, many years. 60% of population in Australia, they bank with CBA, some service or the other. And 33%, which is 1/3 of the population, treats CBA as their main financial institution, which means they do most of their transactions and loans from CBA. So that's quite an achievement. 25% market share, #1 mobile app, 40% of the payments that happens in the country all goes through CBA network. So it's we are a very, very well-established bank. Having said that, while we are in that position of strength, there is still a very strong sense of urgency, a strong sense of restlessness to challenge and change. And that's where the reimagination happens. And that's where the use of AI and tech helps us to go beyond the realm of typical banking services. These are some of the examples. I'll take you through some of these use cases, some in detail, some briefly, conscious of time. So helping customers take control of their finances and bill payments. Where does AI come in here? So we have a product called Bill Sense where we use AI to predict the future cash flows, to nudge our customer at the right time so they can have a better, a better management or responsible management of their finances. Australia as a geography is exposed to a number of natural disasters, unfortunately. And with this global warming, the frequency is only increasing. So there are bushfires, there are cyclones, floods, which really impact our customer and community there at a very high frequency. We use AI, we use data, so we take data from external weather data sources, and we overlay with our own customer base, and we, sorry, I have a bad throat, so just bear with me. Yeah, so we use data and AI to identify customers and communities proactively who would be impacted by some calamity, and we reach out to them proactively to provide our help. When these calamity strikes, there's enough and more problems that an individual or a business would have to go through. We don't want banking to be one of them. In fact, banking should be there to support them. So there are quite a few initiatives that we do here. Personalizing customer interactions. This is not new. Every sector, every organization would really want to personalize their interactions with their customer so that their customers get the maximum value with every interaction. In CBA, we started a journey of streamlining these interactions with our customer almost a decade back. And in 2015, we launched something which we call as Customer Engagement Engine. Ask anybody in CBA and they would know what CEE is. This is the basic platform through which all the interaction of a customer is channeled. So basically, this is an AI-led platform. And this platform is connected to all the different channels that a customer interacts with. So be it mobile banking channel, branch banking channel, or for that matter, customer walking into a branch or calling up a call center, all of that is connected with CEE. CEE feeds into these branches, or feeds into these channels, and when customer comes into any one of them, then there is something called NBC, or next best conversation, that is surfaced to them. This is something which is very relevant to the customer. It could be about an offer, it could be about a service, it could be about anything that is relevant, or simple happy birthday message that would be relevant for the customer. But on the background, what happens is this engine, which is an AI-powered engine, is fed by millions and billions of data points. So every time a customer comes to this channel, there's a real-time decisioning happening based on these AI models, which gives the right and relevant message, and also where the message should be. So should it be on the mobile banking top banner, or should it be on a bottom page? All of that is done real time when a customer comes into that channel. So currently we have 2,000 plus adaptive models which is powering this engine, and it's processed over 3.1 trillion data points. This has been evolving with time, and we are at a stage where we are really hyper-personalizing our communication. On top of this, we have launched our loyalty program. It's customer loyalty program, and any guesses what the program is called? It's called Yellow, Combank Yellow. So we are a yellow brand, and we have called a program as Combank Yellow program. What we have seen, so in the last 1.5 years, a lot of customers have taken this program, and the engagement has gone up twice. And one very interesting fact that we uncovered was these customers who are getting the right messages, who are being treated more favorably than others, they actually come to our app on an average 67 times a month. Can you imagine twice a day? That's not something which we use Swiggy or Blinkit also for, right? Twice a day, these customers come and log in onto their app, not because something is not working, but because there are features, there are offers that is really relevant for them. And that's something that they can gain from. And these offers are not restricted to banking offers. We have tie-up with telecom, retail, and other sectors who pool in, and we customize and prioritize which offer would be relevant for our customers. So this is something which we are proud of, and we keep building for our customers. Very, very important. I think how many of you at least think about or concerned about scams and fraud? Raise of hand. I think we all are. And unfortunate fact is, with AI involving, that the threat actors, the scamsters also have access to all of these AI technology. And hence, the fraud and scams are actually increasing over time globally. So I was reading some stats last year. Globally, we had lost $1 trillion, that's economy of many countries, in fraud and scams. But the good news in this glimpse scenario is at CBA, we have actually reduced our scams that the customers face by 70% in last 2 years. In the current context, this is a big, big achievement. Reduction of scam by 70%, it's something we are really proud of. Obviously, we want to go more, and we don't want any of a customer to be going through a scam, but this itself is a big, big achievement. I'll quickly take you through some of the things that we do, and if you would want to know more details, we have a stall outside. First thing, I mentioned that we have 40% of the payments in Australia, they go through CBA. That means around 20 million transactions in a day, they go through CBA network. What we do is, using our AI, each of these transactions is on real-time monitored for any fraudulent check. And if there is a suspicion that there could be some fraudulent activity, within 10 milliseconds, an alert is sent to the customer about the transaction. Customer has an option to say yes, he has authorized the transaction, which is all good. But in case the transaction was fraudulent, there is kind of a pipeline of actions that the customer can initiate then and there on the app. That transaction gets highlighted as a fraud, and the customer has an option to deactivate the card then and there and activate a new card, get a new digital card then and there, and then the process of chargeback is also initiated. All of that in maybe a minute, a powerful experience. What we have seen is customers are very, very happy with this. We have an NPS. So NPS, which is Net Promoter Score, is something which is very important for us. That's our goal as well, being the leader in NPS. This process itself, a fraud process, has an NPS of 60, which is 60% of the customers say they are really happy about the process. There would be customers who get messages where the transaction is not fraudulent, but they are not peeved by why am I getting this message. They actually rate this as quite high, because they know that their back is covered. Somebody is watching over the transactions happening on the account. There are few more leading, I would say world-leading or industry-leading initiatives that we have launched. Name check, caller check. This is just to ensure that when we are making a payment, when the customer is making a payment, the customer can make a payment with high confidence that it's going to the right person. So there's a real-time check that happens in the background, where if we see a mismatch between, say, an account number and the name, it is going to be surfaced up. And even before customer makes a payment, these are preventive controls. So if transaction would not have gone through, we'll surface it up and customer can check. This has actually helped us save $650 million for our customer. And this is not just fraudulent. There are a lot of mistaken payments also that get saved because of these features. Many more, again, if you would like to know more, you can visit the stall. But all of this is helping us really reduce our scams. And there's a lot of investment still happening. So this journey is still on, because we know there's a lot of catch-up that the external actors would also be doing. Now, this is something which, again, we spoke about payments, 20 million payments a day. Personally, this use case has really stuck with me in how some people who use as basic functionality as a payment for wrong reasons. What we discovered early 2020, there are some senders or some people who are using the payment functionality. So with every payment, while we can put the amount of payment to be done, there's a free text field that's there, where we typically would write fees for the month or rent and so on, which is a description for the payment. But what we realized was there were some people who were misusing that to send abusive messages to the recipient. While we can block WhatsApp, we can block mobile phone, text messages, calls, customers can't block this. So they'll continue to receive these threatening messages, and the sender could be sending small dollar amounts and abusing the relationship. In 2021, what we did was we launched something called profanity blocker. So at the time when the sender is sending the money, we ensure that they cannot use any of those abusive words. There's a blocker that blocks them right away. But that's not enough. What we also realized was you don't need to use harsh words or negative words to abuse someone. Simple, innocent words can also cause a lot of harm. For example, I love you. Seems like a nice, romantic, loving message. It can also sound very threatening for someone in a different context. How do we identify that? How do we really ensure that this facility that we're providing as a bank is not being misused? So there was a lot of work that we did way back in 2021 where, and this is not an easy problem to solve, right? Because it's not a typical text mining, look at NLP. Words in itself would not say, so we have to look at a lot of patterns, what kind of engagement or relationship has been done. So a lot of feature engineering work was done. In fact, 2021, even before when this Gen AI craze and popularity happened, we used the BERT embedding model to do some of this feature engineering. And we created a model that was able to identify these abuse cases to an accuracy of 80% now. So this is an evolving model. And what we do with it is we reach out to those customers, obviously with their consent. We go and provide the required support to them. And we have tied up with government as well to provide the right support to these customers. We don't want this to be limited to the customers of CBA, hence we have open sourced it. So this, late last year, we have open sourced our codes in this particular link. And we are seeing other banks reaching out to us for using this for their customers as well. How can any slide on AI be complete without Gen AI? While a lot of solutions which I just spoke about uses Gen AI, the abusive transactions, now we are using Gen AI there as well. But there is a lot of momentum in CBA where we're using Gen AI to really lift and accelerate what we currently are doing. A lot of organizations, I'm sure, are also experimenting with Gen AI. A lot of use cases that we started with are for the colleagues and for making the organizations more efficient internally. Now, recently, we have also gone out with all Gen AI use cases to benefit our customer experience. And I'm proud to say we would be one of the very few global banks who would be using Gen AI to streamline external customer experience. This is one of the use cases I'd like to take you through, which we launched in November. So this is for business banking. We have use cases for other areas as well. But business banking, obviously business customers, they have more complex product suites. There are more questions. When they do their online banking, we have something called ComBiz. There are a lot of questions that they have, right? How do I make a payment? Or there's a different kind of product construct. For that, we have a lot of FAQs and help documents on our website. There are around 80 such documents. So when a customer is on the app, they have to navigate out, search those documents, come back to the app, and complete their journey. It's definitely an awful experience. And many times, obviously, they would call the call center, wait for long to be spoken to, and then fulfill their customer journey. For this, we have, I'll do a quick demo, just a 10-second demo. We have embedded the Gen AI solution within the app, which uses a RAG framework to go fetch data from all of these documents. And customer can complete their transactions, even opening a new account then and there in the app using this Gen AI solution. So they don't need to have to step out. Everything is happening in the app. The messages are, the chatbot understands the context and gives the answer relevant for that particular moment. And the best of all, this entire solution was developed in exactly 6 weeks, right from getting the infrastructure provisioning to developing the model, to testing the model, doing a pilot. Everything was done in flat 6 weeks. So we developed this on AWS platform, which is our strategic partner, and we released it in November, I think around 20th November. So everything end to end in 6 weeks. That's the pace, that's the acceleration that we are starting to see in the bank. This slide is something which we keep referring to. This quote is something which we keep referring to very often in the bank. The pace of change has never been this fast, yet it will never be this slow again. I think all of us would appreciate this. There's so much of external context changing and evolving, and we would really want to keep it up, not just for learning, but also for really changing and transforming the experiences for our customer. So the example that we saw, 6 weeks, I think that would have been unheard of in the past. There's a lot of examples. I shared some use cases, but we currently have more than 60 identified Gen AI use cases. Quite a few of them have gone live for the frontline customers and for internal ecosystem as well, driving efficiency and better colleague experience. In fact, many of them have gone live already. Apart from all the fantastic results that you can see on this slide, I think what is really important is how we are operating, the operating model. There is a very conscious effort in the bank in terms of creating a tension, creating a model where people really raise the ambition to do more with AI. So there is a council that has been set up called Gen AI Council, which has representation from senior leaders, group executives, including the CEO who comes there often, to see how we are accelerating, what are the use cases where we are accelerating on. That is combined with a lot of federation power. Different BUs are running with their own use cases. A combination of oversight and combination of federation is really helping us accelerate at a very, very fast pace. We are proud, having really invested in AI since more than a decade and now accelerating our AI. We have been able to establish ourselves as #1 bank in AI in APAC region. We are proud of that. This is two years in a row, #1 bank in AI in APAC region. And we are globally #1. We have been recognized as globally #1, best of best in responsible AI. I'll come to this. I'll come to the responsible AI bit in a moment, very, very important topic. So we've seen what are we doing with AI. Just a couple of minutes on how we are doing it. That's equally important. It's not just about doing one use case here and one use case there. There has to be operation at scale. There has to be a culture change. There has to be a mindset change. So some very high-level house of what we are doing at CBA. People, talent and skilling. Needless to say, people is the cornerstone of what we are doing. And diversity, DEI, really plays a strong role here. I'll again come to it in a little more detail in a bit. Data and technology foundation. Again, data, as we all know, I'm sure all the organization must be on some data journey or the other. It's never done, right? In CBA, we are proud to say that we embarked on our data journey, moving our data from on-prem to cloud. Our initial target was completing in 18 months. But using AI for our benefit, we are going to be completing this in 50% of the time, in 9 months. By June, all our data will be on cloud. What this leads to is, for all our practitioners, they will have data available, good quality data available to accelerate the use cases for the customers again. Technology, so there's a lot of work happening in providing Gen AI platform. So we have a Gen AI hub, we have AI factory, which gives access to all our practitioners, and even people who want to learn and experiment. They have access to the endpoints, the LLM endpoints, where they can learn and experiment and can kind of deliver outcomes. Partnerships, very important. We know we can't do everything on our own. We have world-class partnerships with many of the leading organizations. I mentioned AWS. We have partnership with Microsoft. 5 years back, we did a partnership with H2O.ai, which has really helped us move fast in our machine learning journey. This week, we've also done partnership with Anthropic. We all know Anthropic and the cloud models. Now that is going to help us again accelerate in our Gen AI journey, not just by getting access to what they're building, but getting access to some of the leading talent in LLM space and also in responsible AI space. So we're looking forward to working on that partnership. Last, and I think the most important point, risk and governance, responsible AI. While there's enough and more we are doing in AI, in CBA, the most important thing for us is to do it safely. So CBA has always focused on doing AI in a safe and sound manner. In fact, we have been leading, and you saw us being #1 globally, not a mean field. So we have worked with the government in Australia to release the AI principles for the country as well. Last 1.5 years, we are modifying our AI framework, the responsible AI framework, to include Gen AI as well. And there's a lot of agility in terms of how we are using this framework to really accelerate, as well as ensure what we do is done in a safe manner. Examples like we have put guardrails. We have created some AI or guardrails agent, which people across the bank or teams across the bank can call those agents to do some guardrail checks. For example, checks on groundedness. is the Gen AI creating output which doesn't have hallucination, it's relevant and it's within the scope. We have checks like profanity. We don't want the input and output to have either sending or receiving messages to have anything on profanity. Jailbreaking. We don't want misuse of the LLMs in terms of accessing our environment or even throwing out output which is not expected. So there are a lot of guardrails that are being created, and we have the central team has created a capability which can be used. So while there's federated team, a lot of central capability been created which can be reused across the bank to ensure that we are safe and sound. With this, I just want to wrap up with the most important pillar for us: people, talent, and skilling. Absolutely important. We have a very strong focus on people and diversity. As I said, around 5 years back, we started setting up a CBA India team. Proud of the stats. We have a diversity of around 46% in our workforce, 41% in leadership team. We were above 50%. I can see my HR head. Unfortunately, some attrition, but we are 41% in the leadership team. My own team, I can boast of 52%, and I lead a data science and AI team. Highly technical, some great women leaders in my team. It's more than 50%. And this is just not the number on the slide, right? There's a lot that goes behind it. And there's a lot that comes out of it, right? Once you have an environment where you have equal participation of both the genders and different inclusivities, what that creates is a culture which is highly inclusive. A lot of examples that we saw in the previous slide required us to really understand the customer well, have that empathetic outlook. Otherwise, we can't be thinking beyond the banking traditional way of thinking. And that can happen only if our own employee force is diverse. That brings a diverse perspective, and we are proud we have that, and that is really helping us accelerate and create really value-driven outcomes for our customer. So it's just not the numbers. It's also about how we use that to create that value. And the culture, I love the culture. When you see, you can see, you don't feel that you're you don't feel that you're standing out. It's just being part of a group which is so homogeneous and similar to what is there existing outside. Attrition rates has reduced significantly. We have 0 dropout rate for women on maternity leave. I'm proud of how we take care of our women when they need us. There are a lot of networking group, upskilling group that we have launched for women. I myself was part of one of those initiatives called, I'm forgetting the name, Empower? Yeah. So that was more to upskill the team on the different technologies like AWS. So we all have been through that, a lot of focus. I just want to wrap up with upskilling, because having good talent is absolutely important. We are going out and, while diversity is a lens, we are also looking at some deep skills. We have hired Kaggle Grandmasters. We have hired chief engineers who are really strong in their technical skills. It's also important on how we continuously upskill and create a culture of learning. So that we do with a 3-pronged approach, which is leading with AI, building with AI, and working with AI. Leading with AI is about how we upskill our leaders. It's very important that leaders, whether you're managing a business function, whether you're managing a finance function, I can see my finance leader, or HR function, you need to have enough understanding of what AI is possible, what is the art of possible with AI, so that your strategy can be defined and shaped to leverage that. So enough and more happening. So we had one full day workshop last year, right from the CEO to his group execs, all of them went through one full day workshops to understand what AI is and what AI can do. Building with AI, the middle one, very important part of our organization. These are the practitioners, the data scientists, the engineers who are actually building the AI products. We need to ensure that they have all the skills that's required, not just the skills, they should have all the infrastructure, all the experimentation tools. So these people have access to more than 100 plus LLM models. They have access to latest technologies and a lot of learning paths that they can really ensure that they are up to date and upskilled at every point of time. So that's the middle layer. Working with AI is for us, most of our employees in CBA. These are the people who might not have to deal with tech on a day-to-day basis, but nonetheless, they need to be empowered by AI tools. So somebody in operations, somebody in management, how can they become better and more efficient by using AI tools? Like your co-pilots, the meetings, how can I make my PowerPoints easier and faster? How can I do my work in Excel better? So all of that can be done through the bottom pillar. So a lot of focus on people, a lot of focus on upskilling, and that's how we at CBA are really looking at pushing the pedal on AI and creating an impact for our customers and reimagining banking.